think recording started. There we go. Cool. Welcome, everybody, to the September 29th Identifying Security Threats Working Group meeting. Thank you all for being here. Couple things I wanted to just include, but obviously we can talk about lots of other things, or today might also just be a short meeting. So status of Alpha Omega, and actually Ryan, maybe you can help me out with this, because I don't know if we reached the threshold on TAC votes, but we're close.
Yeah, I think we're actually there.
We are, okay.
With Dan's approval, yeah, I believe that takes us to 4. So that's the simple majority now. So yeah, I need to send a mail to officially approve it to the governing board and then let them take it from there. But yeah, it was a little washy there with everybody's extra stipulations, but I think we got it. I think we're there now.
Perfect. Yeah, and I am for the record, I'm totally on board with like obeying those like caveats, because I think those are all the right things to do anyway. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no worries there at all.
Cool. So I will get rid of this question mark and we'll say, well, I don't know if it'll be approval, but it'll definitely be in October.
Yeah, now you get to go through the budget part on the governing board, which I'm sure will be equally as interesting, but in different ways.
yeah, it'll be interesting regarding how much of this is like so my understanding from some other conversations is like where money would actually flow from, whether they would be kind of dollars projected towards this project separately, or they would come through member dues, and like which comes first and all that stuff. So we'll work that all out.
Yep. Yeah, I'm guessing it's going to be a combination of the two.
Yeah. Awesome. And then assuming that happens, then public announce along with everything else in early November. Cool. I don't know. Did anybody have any questions on anything around Alpha Omega?
We have the list that there are 100 projects, if I remember right. I don't know if we want to change them or update it or increase the number, or it is done.
Oh, no, it is definitely not done. Honestly, it's just been slightly lower priority. It's been like priority 2 underneath like actually getting the whole thing approved, or getting the whole project moving. What I'm imagining will happen is, depending on what budget gets approved for the project, we'll have to kind of work backwards and say, how many can we do? How many are already being covered by Google's the thing that they announced 2 weeks ago, I guess. Because obviously we're not going to fund the same project work twice, and things like that. For calendar 2022, I would not be surprised if the budget is available to do fewer than we want, but still a good representative sample. So I don't know if that's 10 or 20 or 30, but it probably won't be 100. I could be wrong, but that's my guess at this point. So yeah, we are going to need to like churn and bubble up to the top the most important things. I think the one thing that I would like to get is more OpenSSF members contributing those things, because right now yeah, so we have what, 9 responses, and these are all good. Actually, this is what I was hoping for, is like a good list like that. Yeah, and then we said, and then we probably have OpenSSF members vote on the ones that they think are most important. So we kind of see where it kind of just naturally bubbles. So yeah, we absolutely need to do iterate on the top 100 list post governing board approval. Cool. Let's see. I did one more thing for particularly Omega. I met with Shubhra, who is runs I guess he's director of product for Linux Foundation. So he owns the technology that runs all the LF stuff. He has a platform called Lfx. So this is Lfx Security. And it does a bunch of things. They have an integration with SNCC, and they have I think they 100 and something projects kind of listed, and they give kind of security metrics actually around them. So we had a conversation on two angles. One is, hey, the OpenSSF metrics dashboard, maybe that should ultimately be collapsed into the Lfx platform. That would require the Lfx platform to expand out to many more projects. So that's one area. And then the other area was have the Lfx platform be extended to become the Omega triage portal. And the nice thing about there is he has designers and a dev team and support, and like he has like all the infrastructure, and seems super willing to work with us to come up with something that really makes sense. So I'm working on some wireframes. Let me actually find a link to the wireframes so we can send it. I think I can just do this. Let me post this in chat. I think it should just. So some of it's the high level stuff, but then there we go. The overall, like what it should look like, and how you'd be able to have some sort of a discussion board and case creation, and we probably want to ultimately push that out to Vince or HackerOne or something like that. Filtering severities and all sorts of stuff. So welcome to give this a look. Super happy to collaborate on this. I don't want to go too far out before we get budgeting, but I wanted to kind of I want to give Shubhra enough information so that he can give a good guess as to what it'll cost to do that dev work. So yeah, that's where we stand there. Any other questions?
So what would be the most helpful thing as far as collaboration on wireframes and things like that? Just want like kind of review of flows and kind of general like spec review type things, or like,
honestly, I'm not sure, because like I know that I'm not a designer, so whatever I make it look like should not hopefully not be what it actually ends up looking like. I guess what I'm mostly concerned about is what are the core features that a triage portal will need to have in order to make everything efficient. So the idea of like what would like the false positive flow, what should it look like? So a tool finds a thing, it ultimately lands in a database thing somewhere. A triager sees it, gets angry because it's such bad quality, does a thing, and then an engineer does a thing, and then those issues never appear again. And how do we do that for I think the efficiency part is the hard part. And I think the other one that I don't know how to represent is this particular finding applies to 310 versions of this open source component. How would I see that and then mark that kind of apply that to all?
Okay, I mean, I can take a stab at some of that and see if I can come up with anything useful. It may or may not make no promises, but yeah, I'll certainly take a look.
Everything's cool. Yeah, and I tried using Figma, and Figma seemed like Photoshop. Like you start with bits. So
so
I just did in Balsamiq because it has like stencils and stuff, and it just after a couple hours, I was like, nope, I'm not. I don't want to do this for the rest of my life.
Fair.
Cool. Okay, so that's that. So next one, security.yaml. So I think in the last meeting, Amir volunteered to kind of take this one and start driving it. We had a discussion afterwards on like, is this taking like a hard problem and is this taking an easy problem and turning it into a really hard problem? Like so one question like just need like something more like security.text or contacting maintainers plus like a .scorecard .json for overriding is that like 80% of the problem? And so I don't know the answer to it. I'm happy to, well, if we collectively think that we should, go down the route that we had been going, that's cool.
The project presented in the draft is a bit different, in my opinion, is more complex, and it permits to have a lot of information, more than just a contact or the scorecard JSON. There are some information related to the project that can help a lot, and I don't know if we want to proceed in this way. We need to discuss, of course, but the YAML is a good, probably it is a good approach because it is a human readable format, but you can also convert in JSON or analyzing using a machine.
Yeah.
And especially if it will be a standard, maybe we want to improve it, changing the standard, adding new paradigm or new value. And probably it's not just the contact. Maybe in the first version, it is a sort of security.txt plus some information related to the project. But in the future, if other scanner becomes popular or similar, maybe it is more than just a contact file.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, I said Amir was driving this. I meant you, Luigi. Sorry.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I need to repeat, or it's okay.
Oh no, no, sorry. I said before that Amir was kind of driving the security.yaml file. I misspoke.
Yes,
So-
yes, but it's no, it's okay. And at the moment, yes, I have just read the document. I have a lot of questions like you, and especially security.yaml is a file in another open source project, so we need to decide if it is a good name, for example, and similar. But,
yep.
Yeah.
Cool. So, I mean, I guess as far as kind of where you want to go from here, like,
well, at the moment there is a good draft document. I have add comment. I have some suggestion probably, but we need to define if we need a new working group for creating a new standard, and we need to decide if we want to create a real new standard. So we work to create a YAML definition, a YAML standard, and then we propose an RFC, because, for example, security.txt is a RFC, and if so, I have created a document with the next step just to create, for example, a mailing list, a Slack group, and a Slack channel, sorry. And I have the document here. I can invite it by email then, but at the moment it is just a public link. And yes, if we want to create a new working group to work on the security YAML or a security standard that open source project can easily add to the project, and probably it is a good idea because the security.md is a good standard, but every project write it in a different way. So, but we need to find new members. This is a problem probably, because I can work, of course, alone, but it's not a good idea in my opinion. And
I mean, feel free to post all over Slack and try to get folks interested that way. It probably would also be good to tee this up as so in November when we do the town hall and the kind of the I don't know what if there's like a theme phrase I should be saying, but like, OpenSSF 2.0. As part of that, it probably would be good to have the list of new projects that are in kind of incubation, and I think this would be a great
probably
for that kind of thing.
I will write in the for now I consider this project like the sub project of this working group, so probably I will write in our channel. I tag you and David. If it is okay for you, I can continue to write on the security YAML document that David created 2 weeks ago, if I remember right, or 1 month ago. Just to be sure about something. I have added some comment, but probably if I share in general or in some working group, some other people can add their idea and comment. And yes, proposed it to the town hall. It can be a good point. So maybe we can define how to proceed, especially probably this project. If we want to create a new standard, we need a new working group.
I mean, at least a project. Because I think the working groups, like, I mean,
it's not necessary. You are right. Technically, yes, it's just a project, but we need to. It is a new project, so we need to schedule a. We need to have time to
meetings and all that. Yeah,
exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think the vulnerability disclosure working group kind of touched on some of this a little bit with their recent
I agree.
Their guide, and I know they have a security.md file in there as well. So we should probably loop in with them and see where this kind of dovetails and how we can share opinions and because I know they've put some thought into it. So
Yes, I agree
they
because
might be willing to help too. So
yes.
Cool.
I can continue to add suggestion or edit in the document. Usually I add a comment and suggestion so someone else can approve them. But if it is okay for you, I can continue to improve the document and formalize it. So we have a draft to present the new project. I don't know if we want to some slide or not, but
if you want, I mean, just talking through it, I should be. I mean, seeing the example might help make it concrete. But it's up to you.
okay. And perfect. I try to continue it.
Yeah. Cool. Last one for me that I had was just trying to recruit new working group members. So if you guys know anybody that you think would be good for this, feel free to reach out. It doesn't need to go through any official channel. Just, invite them, point them to the calendar link, point them to the calendar link. I have a feeling that we'll get a bump in November with the press from that. But until then, it would be good to kind of reinvigorate things. Or if you guys have feedback on why, let's say, membership has dwindled over the months, besides just normal kind of pandemic and everybody's busy and it's in the morning and things like that, all the normal stuff.
yeah, I mean, I think we've been seeing some dwindling numbers across the working groups lately. Unfortunately, it's not unique to just this one, but certainly other ones do still have more activity. And I think it's having something to rally around project-wise is useful. I know some of the other ones that have activity, at least with the core members that are recurring, going and things like that, they're vested in some sort of project. So I think Alpha Omega could help with that. The security YAML thing could help with that. Certainly the metrics dashboard, if we have like an actual vision for how we're going to do that migration, and if we're going to coordinate with this other group, like if we can have some concrete things that we can kind of help go recruit based on, that could be useful. I think that might have some interest.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know, just a question, but do you think that this project is being a security-oriented project, maybe we are losing some good tech people that are not security engineers or not in the security fields, and but they are good. They are good developer. They follow some best practice, or they can give a good contribute also if they are not security expert.
I would be happy with anybody that wants to come and talk and like participate, and even just a little participation would be fine, whether or not they're security or not. It's fine. I think.
Yeah, I think it's a valid point though. Like I haven't really thought about that, but like this group, while certainly security oriented, right? And that's the focus of it. A lot of the help that we need doesn't have a whole lot to do with security or actual like security analysis. And yeah, maybe that upfront intimidation is keeping some people from looking into it more. Because like you said, we just kind of need like developers for a lot of this.
Yeah. I mean, so that actually opens up the other question, which is like, for most people on the working group across all of the OpenSSF working groups, I'd be curious to know how many of them, like what the distribution is of the number of, let's say, hours a week that they put into like purely OpenSSF work. And I would imagine it's super hockey stick shaped, where you have a very small number of people that are putting in a very significant portion of their their job. And these are people that I think either what they do for OpenSSF overlaps very much with their day job, or their day job is OpenSSF, or at least a big portion of it is. And I think for the vast majority, or I would guess that for the vast majority of OpenSSF members, the participation is slightly over the meeting times that they attend. If that assumption is true, then adding like software engineers to the mix, they'll have so little time to actually do software engineering that like the overhead kind of doesn't make it worth it. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that we get folks that are like, yeah, we're gonna like drive this thing. And I think that kind of was in my mind one of the drivers behind like we just need to have funds available so that we can hire full-time, or contractors or whatnot, and that way that is their 40 hours a week of work. But it's just off the top of my head. Could be totally wrong there.
It's an interesting observation. I think you're probably right. Just anecdotally, I sort of view the same thing as seeing the participation being kind of hockey stick, like a small amount of people contributing a lot for the reasons you described. And I think I could definitely see the possibility of, the overhead being kind of a killer for a dev coming in, which I think we can help mitigate a little bit by just getting super concrete in these working groups by kind of PMing them a little bit more and sort of creating maybe more detailed, concrete, very specific specifications, right? And say, hey, this is the thing I need you to go do. Don't worry about the rest, but like this is the task, right? If you got time, go do that. Like, I don't know if it's just creating like granular GitHub issues and saying, hey, go party on this if you've got time type thing, or how we could do that so that just lower the barrier to entry a little bit to also to appeal to quote non-security folks as well.
Right. Yeah. Oh gosh, these are hard problems.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a challenge. This is the challenge with all open source. I think not just security. Like it's how to get folks involved.
Exactly, and I mean, I guess if the pool were larger, then I mean, if whatever 99.1 or whatever the kind of the breakdown of like lurkers versus like somewhat participants versus like core maintainers, you need to have like 100 people involved before you like naturally mine a core contributor out of it.
Yep.
So just need to make the pool bigger.
Yeah, because I see like I get the emails about new subscriber to the OpenSSF announcements alias, right? And it grows steadily every week. So there's a ton of people on that mailing list now, but they're definitely not all showing up to workgroup meetings. Right?
Yeah. So, I think that actually would be a like really interesting in November of like putting out a I don't know, like a something that would make it really clear that like as a member of OpenSSF, you are expected, like maybe perhaps not required, but we do expect you to show up and participate, that this isn't an organization where you get a badge, you put the badge on your laptop and like people just high five you. Like you need to show up, you need to do stuff. Because I was just looking like the where is it? There are I saw this somewhere. Looking to see like how many people are in like the Slack channel and show channel open channel details. Yeah, there's 400 members in general.
Oh wow. That's
like and I think there's maybe 20 that have like written a message. So I don't be super pessimistic on like all the stuff, but like it would be good to be able to kind of squeeze more juice from the fruit or whatever the it's also interesting because we do have a lot of like security vendors that are like members of OpenSSF. that I've never seen like in any meeting. And I wonder if that's another opportunity that we should lean on, and say, hey, like, you know, go after the organizations that this is their day job, is like advancing this kind of stuff, and have them more actively participate. Anyway,
Yeah,
that's my
you
soapbox.
see that. Yeah, no, but it's a valid thing that I think we need to solve, because I've heard this across other groups as well, right? And you know, we talked about it a little bit in attack as well, but
Yeah.
I mean, I know like HackerOne's got some folks in there, and obviously we got folks from OSTIF, and but again, like that's their day job, right? But maybe there are other we can leverage, that we can get in there and kind of utilize some of those resources to get some things done, because it would align with, you know, what they're already trying to do anyway. So
Right. Cool. I think that's all I have. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Nope. By the way, sorry, I just I've been like just kind of trying to listen and like rack my mind for like kind of ideas and stuff too. I agree with pretty much everything that's been said. It's like hard to drive. I don't want to like repeat exactly what's been said, but like it is hard to drive kind of like membership without like some kind of, I don't know, deeper core incentive. I agree, like the lowered barriers, something like that. So I don't know. Ideas haven't like popped into my mind yet, but I'm kind of on the same page.
I mean, I almost feel like we need like a Twitter celebrity to be like, hey guys, this is, because it's really just about getting the, like, spreading the message wide enough so that the folks that are already interested but just not aware, like, hear about it. I think.
Yeah, maybe like it's almost like a market, like an advertise, like people want to, like, maybe there has to be like, I don't know, in my mind, like maybe like a core driven kind of like why, like what can, as a person, like what can you get out of, either I see it as like a learning opportunity, almost like a kind of some kind of, not like a class, but like, or a network, like something where you know you'll be able to interact with people across so many different organizations. You get projects under your belt, like stuff like, I don't know. I think it has to be like, I think the message of like what you are given, or like what is provided, if in terms of, if we're looking like recruit people and stuff, that could be a good kind of thing to work on, like the core. I don't know. I'm just kind of like thinking aloud, but yeah, that probably takes more to think about it.
That's a good point. Like well, what's in it for that? So actually, I'll ask, you know, you guys, like, what do you guys get out of OpenSSF? Like, why are you here?
Well, so I don't want to jump over anyone else. Well, I mean, for me, it kind of started like, I don't know, like, so for me, I was fortunate to like kind of start on a more like personal interaction with you. Like, so like I guess you got me interested just through like being kind of like exposed to the security space, and like get to see like work on like projects here and there, and like kind of just explore and learn. And a lot of that was probably through my like internship is I mean, you know, honestly, where that like interest kind of sparked for me. But I do like, it's hard to envision, like I'm trying to envision like if I didn't have that experience of that internship and I saw this as a person kind of like online, or an opportunity, like what would drive me to do that. One thing would, yeah, I don't know. So I just kind of, it's like a wish-washy answer, but I don't know. I feel like I just kind of like got like informally kind of drawn in, and it's awesome now. But yeah, I don't know. Does anyone else have thoughts? That Luigi, I don't remember how did you, like, did you kind of just see this like working group? Like, how did that happen for you, out of curiosity?
I joined before OpenSSF. I joined when there was this activity led by GitHub, and then we the GitHub group or the GitHub activity has been merged in this Linux Foundation project. And well, I joined because my manager convinced me, and it was an interesting project, especially because security in the open source is a mess. And in Arduino, I had to improve the security of the third-party packages that the community offer to other one, and so probably working. I mean, it was interesting to work on standard and some good best practice to communicate with the developers. And I continue to join the meeting because I like it, and well, Michael is a great manager, and I think that the first document that we have prepared, the thread modeling, is incredible. It is a really valid document. I share with my peers and with with my friends a lot of times, because it is a really good complete document to start to evaluate the security of open source project. Then the dashboard is another good way to evaluate quickly the open source. To have an overview of the security of open source project. And so I think that we are running in the right direction, but at the same time, I think that we are not able to convince or to show really our work or product, and it is a problem. And I don't know if I answered to your question, but I tried.
No, it totally answered my question. Oh, I think I agree on everything. Like, I think if people were to like just like come here, like attempt, like even once, like to just come in and drop in, listen into a meeting, I think that would make things a lot more interesting and like tangible. And I think again, like the tangible aspect is like really important. Like Ryan, you touched on this. Like, if someone were to see just like, you know, maybe if they either when they came into a meeting or they saw like, you know, somehow as it were advertised or kind of explained to them, they saw like the metric dashboard page for like Kubernetes or like the I don't know, like some other kind of project that's in the works and that's being built, and you know, be like, oh, like you could be a part of this. Like this is a great way to build your experience as a software developer. I think that's probably a better term than like security. Like that'll probably draw like a wider audience. Like I think again, that was already mentioned, but you know, like just what will motivate people. I think there's a few things, like if you boils down to, I mean, you have to be a little realistic in the sense that I think people want to like maybe like want something to brag about. So like not brag about, but like, you know, like put on their resume from like a shallow perspective, right? Like people like will probably want to do that if we like, you know, want to garner like a larger audience. So like maybe some kind of advertising to show like how it could help someone like progress in their career, and just in terms of like a project experience, like getting, you know, like getting kind of on a conversation level with people from Microsoft and the Linux Foundation. And, you know, you can like name drop a whole lot of stuff if you want. And so, you know, get to say, oh, you'll get experience, you'll get to build your resume, you'll get to be able to work with these people. Almost then you could like pull the class card, like, you know, you'll be able to learn a whole lot in this space and build your skills and this and that. And, you know, maybe that might get you a smaller kind of like a somewhat partially less experienced or collegey university audience. I don't know, but it doesn't seem like we're like super picky at the moment anyway. So I don't know. These are all like just like, that's my off the cuff spiel, but that's yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I tend to like tangent on too much, but so feel free to stop me if I do that again. But yeah, my take.
But I mean, I think that we have the same problem of every open source project. Find people that contribute is not easy. So
yeah, it's definitely it's, you know, it's part of the open source kind of atmosphere, it feels like in general, but that's part of it.
Yes, I have Twitter infrastructure celebrities. I am thinking about this. I agree that probably we need to try to convince them. I don't think it is difficult. At the same time, probably we need to better show the result that we have already obtained. And the disclosure policy or the OpenSSF metric dashboard are good result. Maybe we can do it better, for example, but it is just a user opinion. The metric dashboard is cool, but it is based on Grafana, and maybe we want to improve the user experience or the design, and we need so also contribution from tech people, people that have experience on design, but maybe they are not security. Well, they have no experience in the security,
Yeah.
but they can contribute to have a better approach to the security in the open source. Because if security is not user friendly, we have a problem. So it is another problem that probably we need to. It's not just our working group, but also other one, and probably we need to find a way to present the security like a sort of user-friendly activity. So,
A lot.
And maybe, sorry, one more thing I just thought, like maybe it seems like the more closely we kind of drift towards like the existing foundations that have infrastructure, and like you said with the project, like I think what was it, Lfx, I think with the project metrics, with the project metrics dashboard and stuff like that. It seems like the more closely we like are like float towards these kind of like towards organizations that can like help kind of get support and get people kind of affiliated and looped in, and maybe like, you know, to the point where someone from that organization or group will, you know, attend our meetings more regularly. And so like maybe that might help, that might maybe like shift a little bit of our drive in terms of like some of the projects we want to work on. Like if we think that one project might have more overlap or possibility to engage in discussions with a particular organization or company, or I'm not saying to just, you know, forget our own solo ideas or anything like that. Just like to, I think to be opportunistic in that standpoint can get us in kind of, can connect us to a much larger circle in a lot of ways.
Yep, that makes sense. I added these down here. I don't know if there's other types of participants that other than these guys that I think would be, because I think every team I've ever been on, I think has admitted that they are terrible at marketing. And so, you know, the team, we always do really good stuff, but not the too few people hear about it and know about it and internalize it and pass it on and things like that. Maybe it's me, but
I think it's a universal engineer's problem.
yeah. So maybe actually like actively recruiting like people that are passionate about telling the story behind, or just telling stories, because security is just a domain.
Mhm.
I don't know how we find people like that, but that would be interesting. I would love to have somebody that, you know, looked at all of this stuff and said, yeah, but so security, you know, security YAML, like, how are you going to make people want to use it, and like approaching it from that complete other side, which is not my superpower.
Yeah, I think something you mentioned earlier was interesting. You know, like I think kind of jokingly, but semi-serious about, you know, we need like a Twitter star. You know, so next week is the governing board meeting, and you know they're responsible for marketing and things like that. So I could certainly bring this up. I could talk to Kay and see if it's a topic to bring up. But I know that, you know, our community representative on the governing board has a pretty large Twitter following, and you know they could certainly, if they're open to it, we could ask and see if they're interested in helping to drive some of these, you know, more specific things. You know, because I could totally see like a tweet going out from someone that has a big following and saying like, hey, want to participate in moving open source and security forward, but don't have any security experience? We need help with the following, like,
Yep.
you know, that kind of thing, and just get people to go, oh, okay, cool. You know, I can do that. And yeah, security's cool, but I don't know anything about it, right? Type thing. And we definitely have other even kind of exec level people at various companies that are invested in OpenSSF and want to see it happen. Maybe we could get some of them to start doing some tweets and actually build a campaign around recruiting around some of these initiatives, not just saying, hey, look, here's the cool things we've done, but actually saying, hey, come get involved. Like, we really could use the help.
Do we have a come get involved landing page?
We do. Yeah. So if you go to openssf.org, there at the top of the page is a get involved link right up top to the right there. Yep.
Ah,
Yeah. So Kay actually drove getting a lot of this done some months back. Probably need to update it at this point. Yeah, but
no, but this is, I mean, updating this with like, you know, even if it's just like a carousel kind of here where it just kind of randomly rotates and be like, security YAML, like help, blah, 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 blah. Click here to, you know, and we have like the individual, like, what's in it for me kind of things here.
Exactly, like list of skill sets that we need, you know, that might not be security related. Here's a very specific project like security YAML or things like that. Yeah, I think that'd be useful.
Yeah, I mean, you can almost recruit as if it's like, you know, like a paid kind of, you know, like you can put like, you know, we're looking for this kind of someone to fill this kind of role, and, you know, role responsibility, like skills, like things like, and then projects, like, yeah, like the kind of projects we're working on. And then that way we can, what's cool about that is if we kind of fill in like little roles or descriptions of things we need on this page, that can make outreach pretty easy, because, you know, we can take that and just, you know, highlight all kind of copy, like, you know, we could either send, like, email people around or post stuff, and that makes it easy to kind of
So maybe actually, maybe as this is probably more of a, maybe not blog, but this is like a November announcement blog thing with like a kind of a list of opportunities,
Mm-hmm.
you know, concrete projects, etc.
And maybe I don't know, but we need, I mean, the OpenSSF member, what usually people use or require or decide to investigate a particular tool, approach, or standard if they see it in the important open source project. So maybe we want to add in the README or in something similar, the badge or something similar. So people visit the Kubernetes page and they see that there is a little badge related to OpenSSF or the link to the metric dashboard or similar one. I say the Kubernetes, but every important open source project.
Is there a what are those little the little tiny GIFs that have, like, you know, coverage 80% or like number of stars 22 that people stick in their README file?
Exactly, a similar one for OpenSSF, and well, for the metric dashboard or the scorecard, it is quite easy to create that similar, and in this way we can also put the link to the metric dashboard, so people see the percentage and they want to click it, and they can visit the OpenSSF metric dashboard and then use it, and so. Because scorecard is an important project, but we have included it in the metric dashboard, so we can present the metric dashboard that offer a good overview. And
Right. So So it'd be like,
Yes, similar to this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
I like it. Cool. We are getting close to the top of the hour. This is a really good conversation. So thanks everybody. Any last thoughts?
Thank you. I continue to review and add comment or suggestion in the security YAML document. Probably I improve the. I mean, I remove some random comments that are written or some, and improve the how it is presented. And that's it. And thank you.
Perfect. Yeah, appreciate that very much. Yeah, and let me know if you need any help with anything there. But obviously, yeah, I think you said you were going to post some stuff in Slack to kind of recruit more people. I think that'll be good to get more eyes on it and stuff.
Yes. Okay. Perfect. So probably I ask you and other people to approve the comment or the edit, so we have a sort of double check.
Yeah. Sounds good. Awesome.
Okay. Perfect.
Thanks,
Have a nice
everybody.
day.
Have a good one.
Bye bye.